A good evening to you. Hello and welcome right here on Farm Drive with me, David Kagina. And the beauty about today, I'm not alone. In studio with me is
Noah Nasiali Kadima.
Thank you so much. You'll be our guest today, and we are having a lot in store for you. But first and foremost, let's ensure that you get home safely in case you're in traffic right now and you're wondering how it looks like, especially on a day where Kenya has reported that today, this year alone, between January 1st and today,
Noma.
We've lost 31.
Nairobi peke yake.
Nairobi peke yake.
Noma.
It's getting hectic.
What they've done, I saw that photo, and that photo is in front of the governor's office.
What? And those are those ones that have lost their lives. We also have another 91 when you're injured in road accidents.
Yes,
that
we have to be safe. We have to always drive safely.
So in case you're using Ngong Road, ensure hapo kuna traffic kidogo. We have Ngong Road and Wayaki Way, also Mombasa Road. I'm being told I can see there's traffic, lots of traffic, plenty of traffic right now. And even as we talk of traffic, there's a very interesting conversation.
Yes.
BRT is coming.
I don't understand how that is going to work, because I don't know they're going to remove all the matatus. And I don't know if the BRTs will be faster and accommodating. Matatus are accommodating. You stop there and it stops.
So apparently,
yes.
If you moved on Thika Road,
yes,
walk on a special lane for BRT.
I've seen it, but
it's the most inner lane, and then they have stops at every center.
I can imagine when you are lighting pale Githurai, unaingia huko ndani. Anyway, let's see. Probably be something interesting. Because I think movement is not just between Nairobi town and Thika Road. I think it's now going inside there.
Now.
Yes, yes.
After Thika Road.
Where only the Nduthi can go.
Now that and something else from the news.
Yes.
We have now quite an interesting news. I don't know if this makes you happy or mixed reactions. Now the Treasury has reduced, or rather has cut down President Uhuru Kenyatta's and William Ruto, his deputy's salary by 11.6%.
That one is not bad. But they've increased the allocation of state vehicles to State House from 10 million to 109 million.
Does it balance?
Apana. No. Anyway, because it doesn't make sense when you actually do that. You reduce by 11%. 11% of 2 million shillings is like what? Around 200,000 shillings.
Yeah.
And then you increase 109 million.
Talk of which everyone in government, everyone right now, currently almost everyone is resigning.
But I think this is I don't like politics, but it just shows the reality that was on the ground. The systems were not working because it was split into two, and for me, I would just like to see who is very interestingly the CS for agriculture decided not to.
He has said he's not stepping down.
Yes,
so good news for the farm.
So let us hope there's something good without opposition in government.
Let's see how it stands.
Exactly.
But also everyone in the private sector, everyone is looking towards politics. Is politics this paying? Is it this interesting? Are they so much burdened by the concerns of the Kenyans, in your opinion?
Everybody's in business. Everybody's in business, and everybody starts a business. And so when you find somebody is living a really high paying job as a civil servant, top CS is a good job. It's like almost like the permanent secretary these days, or the deputy to the minister. It used to be assistant minister, and actually risks a whole 6 months of being out in the cold. The campaigns require a lot of money.
Yes.
So anything that you're investing in millions in, you must be thinking probably there must be something that comes out. Even triple of that.
But on the other hand, now introducing us to today's topic, which is quite interesting.
Yes.
When
the markets fail.
Here is where you feel like resigning as a farmer. When the markets fail, you have planned properly, you have invested.
Kagina, let me tell you.
And then the markets.
I planted cabbages. 75,000 cabbages.
75,000.
And cabbages don't take 6 months or 8 months or 1 year. Cabbages take 3 months to be ready.
So after 3 months, you have your 75,000 heads of
Yes.
cabbages.
And the person who was supposed to come and pick did not show up. Hey.
75,000.
I had spent all the family savings. I had promised my family, there's money coming. 75,000 cabbages times 30 bob. That's 2.1 million shillings. We'll go to Mombasa. We'll go on a holiday. We'll remain with them, improve the farm and the rest of the stuff. I was selling cabbages at 4 bob.
Now wait, I just want to know.
Hey.
Immediately you realized how was it for you? Immediately
In fact,
you
the day I
market
realized that
was
I'm not selling, I started walking from the farm. I forgot I had a car because it was now stressful. And it happens to farmers across the world. Because sometimes in 2020 we saw farmers in California throwing the potatoes, in tonnage. We've seen farmers like for example, I'll just talk about myself with cabbages.
Yeah, I want to hear the story, the cabbage story.
So the cabbage was a very interesting
You've
story.
walked home without your car. You've forgotten you had your
No,
car.
I went for some kilometers until the guy told me, are you coming back? I was like, why? I was like, you left the car. Because it was really stressful, because it was actually October there, November-ish, planning for my kids to go to school January. I'm not selling cabbages. I've overpromised, because it was like, no worry. She didn't come today, she'll come tomorrow. You walk through the farm, the cabbages are splitting, are bursting, because now the time it's ripe. Now they have to get out. Getting to the market was more expensive than actually taking the transport to the market was more expensive than the money I would get back. Because somebody's charging you 20,000 shillings for only 1 ton. And a cabbage more than 6 kilos.
So they were big.
Yes.
You did not fail when it came to farming.
I don't fail.
Farming was successful.
I don't fail.
To the very
In
end.
production, I don't fail. Just imagine that.
But the market stared at you.
Yes, and I thought, hey, what happened is that I was so shocked that I didn't even talk about it. I talked about that after 2 years. I didn't plant cabbages again for up to 6 years. That's what after 6 years is when I planted cabbages again.
That might have been quite traumatic for you.
Na si hiyo peke yake.
Uh-huh.
When the markets fail.
You're saying your character has been properly developed.
I have
I
have a PhD. In fact, I can train on that.
Okay, other than the cabbages.
Watermelon, my friend.
Eh.
You know what happened?
Uh-huh.
I planted watermelon. Really good. In fact, I still there's a manual I developed on watermelon farming from that crop.
So you had mastered the art of producing.
I had I think like
watermelons.
6 different experts who came to guide me, from land preparation to seeding. Even the way you're told you plant the seed facing up.
So it's not
You don't
supposed-
just plant.
You don't just throw it.
Yes, even how you water it before, and then you water the furrows. Excuse me, I remember furrow. I don't stand drip. You water the furrow, then the water goes down, and then you plant. Pole. I was actually measuring amount of manure per bed. Those are I used to use manure before I graduated to increasing humic. Then I planted watermelon. Took care of them very well. In fact, at some point, I used to now hire a motorbike, a boda, to go to the farm with it. Me, myself, riding, not at hiring a boda rider.
Oh, you hire a bike and
yes,
go with
because
it.
it's 300 shillings per day. It's cheaper than me driving to the farm at 1,500 shillings.
And let me ask, what size of farm are we talking about here?
That was like 3 acres.
3 acres of watermelon.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So they started getting ready. The challenge nilikutana nayo, you face something like this, and you're the only one who can face it. Because the guys at the farm employees, they want their salary.
They need to be paid. They
Yes.
need their work.
Yes. So it is now between you and the farm, and the market. And you don't have transport.
So
You don't have a pickup to carry watermelon. Watermelons are heavy. One watermelon is like 6, 7, 8 kilos.
and they are ripe now. Past
Yes.
there, they
Zimeanza
can't be in the
kubust.
farm.
They start fast busting. So you walk, you see some pink, red, watermelon is busting. And what happened is that I went to, I was farming in Kamulu, a place called Kamulu. So it's Kamulu, then you go to Mala, go to the river. So from the farm to the main road is 13 kilometers. So there's no way I will carry like 300 kilos of watermelon each. Because Aneka was giving me something like 12, 13 tons. So yes. So the production was super. Kabisa. In fact, I had got some guys from Rombo. You know, Rombo, they know how to take care of watermelon really well. The guy was called Mashombo. I still remember him up to today.
So you brought Mashombo on board
yes,
to take care of you.
Yes.
And the produce was
yes.
super.
In fact, I told him, come with your guys, the guys who know how to make the beds and the guys who know how to take care of the watermelon. I was not chancing this time. Where?
Little did you know.
Where? So what happened is, I borrowed a pickup. I remember it was a KX something. And I borrowed, it could only carry like I think 500 kilos. It was just all small pickups because that's what I could afford. Because that time the lady was charging me 3,000 shillings for the day.
Oh, the entire day.
Yes.
So it was up to you to fill the car.
Yes, but I took the car after 5 kilometers. It broke down. You know, but budget ilikuwa imekataa. Budget ya transport ilikuwa imekataa. So what happened is that I got some watermelons to now from the farm Mala all the way to the town. But we realized that we have more watermelon than that pickup can carry.
But wait, let me ask this: for the cabbages, you had a ready market. That
it was a side contract. In fact, I framed that contract is in the house.
So now for the watermelons, were you planting with the market in mind, or did you just plant expecting to find a market that would be ready for you?
You know, when you're being told, and that's what I would really like farmers to avoid. When you're being told, if you spend 40,000 shillings, you get 400,000 within 4 months.
I also want to put my money in that.
You think of the market. So you've already been told it will be 400,000.
You think the market is automatic?
So what happened is very interesting. The watermelon, so we took the watermelon. This watermelon story is very funny. So we went and sold. I had a friend of mine in a place called Mala. He was a very interesting guy. And he told me he has some, when we were still standing on the road, just wondering, where do we get a lorry or something like that at affordable rate? So we agreed that we stopped a truck.
A random
big truck. Yes. That guy was telling me that from the way he's seen, we're going to get around 30 tons.
From the farm.
So we needed to do 2 harvests. So the first harvest, we harvested and packed. You know, you have to look for grass and put under. And you have to sit with the driver in front there to tell him, go slowly, because watermelon is very fragile.
Yes.
If you hit a pothole, that calotte near there, flat. They don't even bust. They're flat. So they wouldn't. By the time they reach the market, there's a tapping sound when the watermelon is ready. Yes. So now we agreed with the truck guy that we'll come tomorrow, and the buyers. The buyer was at City Park Market. He became a friend after that. So we agreed with him 45 shillings per kilo. And the guy was very okay. He was like, in fact, that's like gold.
He knew your produce was
in fact, don't sell to anybody. In fact, when you leave the market, cover.
So that you don't get tempted.
Don't sell to anybody. I have ready buyers. Maybe happy, go get the truck. Leave at around we left around 1 a.m. It was before COVID. 1 a.m. So because we had to drive slowly, and then when you harvest watermelon, it has to cool down before you pack.
So you have to drive slowly, and
then when it reaches the market, it cannot have a lot of heat because it becomes spoiled. Where we reached City Park Market, got a parking slot, reversed. It was around 2:30 there. So I said, since we've covered everything, what an Lalek Dogo, at least to recover some sleep.
Are there other people in the market at this time?
Yeah, that's our time. That's the time for my farmers in the market.
People are just arriving now.
Yes, they're arriving. Some other traders are already there. You know, now City Park Market being in Parklands, guys from Limuru, Arniara, the roads in Limuru are better than our roads in Huku Kwingine.
No traffic.
Yes, now for me, I'm 13 kilometers to the road, and then now imagine from Kamulu all the way to City Park Market. Roadblock nazo mingi. So now, when we reach...
It's 2 a.m. right now.
2:30 a.m.
You are the market.
Yes, we've parked the car, we've reversed to my car. So I tell my guys, let me catch some sleep kidogo. At least by the time these guys come, start buying, it will be hectic. So me, I sleep. So this buyer comes and tells me, umeleta mali, sawa sawa, fungua, lakini now you, what you do, you just sit there, because these guys don't want to see. If they see you, they won't buy from you. They'll know it's a new person. Hey, now sure, my friend.
Yote ni Kiswahili.
Hiyo ni Kiswahili too.
They're just playing with you.
So you wanted to see how I react. So me, I'm like, that's fine, no
so
problem.
now he's sure
See,
you're
now I had my guy, so my guy was behind measuring. So me, I'm like, how come I'm not seeing even some money? You know, because the agreement was after every 10,000 that my guy brings the money. So I go up outside, and the guy tells me, now tells me, apana, now we can't sell at 45 shillings.
Wait. Let me get to understand properly the setting of the market. So you parking outside the market?
Yes. No, inside. So City Park Market had a parking within. So you secure parking. So it's normally behind, but now they've renovated it.
Okay.
It looks really nice. So you park behind. A spot is 1,000 bob for a big truck. No, it's 1,500 for a big truck.
For the entire time?
Yes. No. 2 hours maximum. 2 hours maximum.
So it's 2
because it's someone's plot. So you just do it in the morning, and then now you chomoka. You get out and now go and do other things.
So the trucks are there. They're being sold from somewhere different. The melons.
No, the trucks. We've brought the trucks there. So the guy, you simply open the rear part of the truck and start selling. Where? So the guy tells me at the market does not want, it cannot bear at 45.
It's too expensive for
that. Ati utachukua nusu yake. Me, I've calculated hiring the truck is 20,000 shillings. The guy I've come with from the farm.
You have to pay.
And this truck has to go back by Sasita. By midday, this truck has to go back to the owner.
That's the agreement when taking the truck.
Because it's not even the owner; it was the guy the driver.
So he was doing you a favor.
So he was doing me a favor and told the owner of the truck, it's these trucks that come from take things probably I think to the border Namanga, and then on the way back to Mombasa. So they didn't want to risk leave. So they needed to load some load to go back to Mombasa. So he was just doing me a favor. Where? So I was a third boy for a day.
Soko imekata.
Yes, Soko imekata.
According to the broker.
Exactly. The broker says no, Soko imekata. How much the most? 25 shillings. I'm like, apana. There is no way.
25
because my guy has now told me
all the way from 45 shillings.
Exactly. So the guy told me that no, this guy is actually selling it at 50 shillings. That's why he told you to stay in the driver's seat there.
So
Mwosho mweupe. Inoko mwosho mweupe.
Mwosho moja.
Mwosho moja.
So this guy tells you to sit at the driver's seat so he can conduct the sales.
Exactly.
Here. They don't want to see you because you're new.
No, that's what he told me.
That's what the narrative is sold to you.
Yes. And I bought it. I mean, I'm not in the market, my friend, every day.
So you don't know this thing.
And we had talked with this guy for a month.
So you trust him already.
Yes.
So you decided.
In fact, I still have his number. I still call him sometimes. But anyway, there's a good story after that. So now, I tell this guy I can't sell it for 25 shillings. After that, even you just try at 40. So it's like, a few can take. So we only managed to sell there around 1 ton. Of now, the guys who were very desperate at that time.
Who really needed them now.
Yes. So what happened is, we sold to this guy. This guy, I didn't see that guy who was buying. So this guy took his melons somewhere else and put them somewhere. And then this guy of mine tells me, see, this guy bought at 40 bob.
Yes.
This guy of mine tells me, let me show you another guy who's selling at 18 shillings. Nani melon zangu man.
So they've plotted together. So they're just,
yes, so it's just a racket.
It's just a plot for
Kabisa.
You.
So that I accept 20 bob, and he's selling at 50. So I told the guy, I told the driver, and my buddy, no, let's get out.
You decided you will not sell for that price.
Yes.
And you took your load.
Yes, and I was waiting for around 5 o'clock so that I go to work. So that day I called in, I can say now because Hassan will talk about, but I called in sick. The guy, I just told called in sick. I told my boss that I went to the market.
But how are you not sick after?
What? Unasikia mental health? Hey, my friend.
You are literally sick.
It didn't even hit me, by the way. I think it hit me like a week later.
But wait, we how many tons are we talking about that you have in your lorry right now?
More than 30 tons.
More than 30 tons of melons in the market.
Yes.
And the price is 25 shillings.
25 shillings.
You cannot.
And from that 25 shillings, this guy has to take a bob for every kilo. So basically it's like 23 bob. 22, 23 bob.
22, 23
Yes,
shillings.
because there's some Wests, you have to pay the Kanjo guys, yeah, stuff like that.
Well, we will continue with that story from right there.
Yes. Hey!
Wow. 30 tons of watermelon
Hey!
in the market.
It was pressure.
You knew you were selling at 45 shillings. There's a broker here who tells you, these people don't want to see a new face. So you go at the driver's seat. They're selling at 50 and they tell you the least they can sell is 25 shillings. Wow, when the market fails. We'll be back in this after this short commercial break, so don't go far. We'll be back with the story.
Beetroot is a highly nutritious root vegetable. The beetroot is the top proportion of a beet plant. It is one of the many varieties of the genus Beta vulgaris, all of which are mostly grown for their edible taproots and leaves. Beetroot is a root crop that takes approximately 3 to 4 months to mature. Beetroot is a fairly easy crop to grow as long as the soil is well cultivated prior to planting. Beetroots do not enjoy wet, boggy or shady soils. Beetroot can be sown in trays and transplanted when the seedlings have 2 true leaves. Plant in full sun, space seedlings 10 to 15 centimeters apart, and rows 20 centimeters to 30 centimeters apart so they have room to grow. Beetroots are also ideal for containers or raised beds. Beetroots will happily thrive in small areas as long as there is at least 20 centimeters depth of soil. Beetroot has been used not only for food but also for treatment for numerous conditions.
Welcome back. You're joining us right here on Farm Drive. Thank you so much for coming on board. Remember, here we say the healthier you are as a farmer, the healthier your farm is, and the better of our society. Because when you take care of yourself, you're taking care of the farm in general. So we're talking about you as a farmer protecting yourself by going and getting vaccinated and ensuring that you're following all the procedures that are there to ensure that you do not contract COVID-19. Welcome back so much. And you're getting this courtesy of Producers Direct. Remember, get yourself vaccinated to ensure that you're safe. Even as we continue with this conversation, farming is not as easy, and so your health should be fast.
Kabisa.
Right before we went
Mimi vaccinated.
uko sawa wewe kabisa?
Kabisa.
Uko chonjo?
Wacha nikwambie COVID. You cannot wish it for your worst enemy.
It's not as easy.
Me, I saw COVID like this, man.
Have you contracted it during this period?
2020. Yes. And I couldn't access the office for like almost 2 months.
Was it so severe on you in terms of?
I was in hospital.
So you're talking about cash loss.
Kabisa.
So important.
Kabisa. In fact, wacha tu. COVID, lakini pia mimi I fear injections, man.
Injection, they're the worst, man.
But I got it finally, and it is nice. I didn't react, by the way. There I thought
for the vaccination.
Kabisa.
You saying wewe?
In fact, I went for one shot, Johnson & Johnson,
and the chapter was closed.
I was imagining going back to be vaccinated again.
But at least you're safe now.
Yes.
So vaccination is
but the mask is still important. Yeah.
The mask is good, but
universal flag.
You're better off when you have, when you're vaccinated as well.
Yes.
Now, for those joining us, in case you're joining us right now, this is David Kagina, and on board is
no unnecessarily Kadima.
We were having a very interesting conversation right before this break, just to bring you up to speed in case you're joining us right now. This gentleman right here, who's smiling right here, was near depression.
Character development, my friend.
Character development in farming. We're talking a scenario where this person has farmed. Mr. No has farmed properly watermelons.
Yes.
He's gone to the market with them. But now the market cannot fetch half the price of what he was expecting to sell. The market has failed him.
Not failed me. The broker made me fail in the market. The market,
the broker broke your market.
Not that people don't eat watermelon. I saw people buying the watermelon and saying they are very sweet.
So people were,
so for this guy to discourage me, they're saying, even some of these watermelons are overripe. Could be that what they've realized that I've noticed what they're doing. So they take some of the watermelons and hit them hard.
They slap them really hard.
So they become, so they sound like they're overripe. To frustrate me, so I say, okay, just sell
at that price.
Yes.
And let me ask you, probably a farmer might be asking this: why wouldn't you just sell directly to the market?
Let
me
tell you something, and that is where I really like farmers to understand. I would really like farmers to understand their cost of production. I did all that, but my cost of production per kilo was a bit high. It was around 21 shillings per kilo. I cannot sell it at 23 bob.
Yeah, you can
3 months, 3 acres, 3 bob.
If you sell it at 23, you and the broker are making the same amount of money. And
in fact, he's making more because my cost of production is 20 bob. He's selling at 50. He wants me to sell at 25. So I'm getting only 5 bob. And I'm paying for the transport. I'm paying, I have to pay I've left the farm with over 30 tons. I've told these guys, I'm going to sell, I'm coming to pay you guys. There's a tractor on the farm, actually, imeendelea kuplow.
You're coming to pay these guys. You're coming back with cash.
45 shillings, that's 1.2 million shillings. I was very sure. Again, let me tell you. Farming is not for the faint-hearted.
It takes heart. You've mentioned, there being a broker in the market, so you have to sell through the broker.
You have to sell through a broker. So that is how it is. But now, and there's nothing wrong selling through a broker. The thing is that if you have agreed with a broker, it's X amount. Let him respect that and give you that or slightly more, not half of it. But you can only manage this really well if you actually understand your cost of production.
So
The secret is your cost of production.
So by cost of production, we are talking about, you know, the labor you utilize, the cost of seeds.
Yes.
You know, if it's irrigation, how much that costed you.
Yes.
Are you adding transport there?
You have to add transport if you don't have a means. Even if you have a means of transport, cost it.
Add it there because
You have to cost everything. If you bought the knee, yesterday I was being told there's something. I was being told it's called what? This thing that you cut, smoky what?
Smoky pasua.
Smoky pasua. Wake up, smoky pasua. Because if you are if you are quoting for a client some job, you'd cost everything.
But wait, I have a tractor. I'm a farmer.
Yes.
Now, when counting the cost of production, do I count the fuel or the cost of hiring a tractor?
It depends. If you want to cost the fuel, what about the tractor? What about the driver? What about the wear and tear of that car?
So all this has to come in place well.
When you have these things, it's just an advantage. But it's still a cost because someone else doing it will cost it. So that means that if you have all these things plus transport, your cost of production comes to 12 shillings. The market price is 30. You'll sell it at 13 shillings.
So you can never compete with the market price.
You can't.
Look at your cost of production.
Cost of production, look for a niche market, don't overgrow. In fact, since that day, I have never grown watermelon more than half an acre. Never.
So what do you do with the rest of the land?
You do other crops. In fact, I rarely grow anything more than an acre. More than even half an acre.
So you diversify. One of the
diversify
secrets is
or I
diversifying.
spread. I what I do is that instead of I do watermelon January, another half an acre in February, another acre in March. So now you see, even if it's an acre each, I have 3 acres, but spread. I don't need a truck of 30 tons because I'll harvest the first probably 10 tons, then the next month, then the next month.
So that is advisable for anyone doing.
Split your planting. Better returns.
Now we are talking of ways, you know, of preventing you finding yourself in the situation that you were a while back. And you've done this for 15 years, so I believe experience has really built. You have really been
PhD in character development.
I do not intend to laugh at this. Sounds funny when you say it right now, but
PhD.
Wow. So
yes.
we're saying
I'm writing books now.
On
yes,
to guide
just my experience.
Research.
First my experience, and then just the guides.
Okay, I might read it. I'll read the books. But
the biggest problem, Kagena, is that farmers are not marketers. A scientist cannot be a marketer. It is impossible. If you find a scientist who's a marketer, is a con man. Because how can you develop something that and you know where you're going to sell it? You'll manipulate. So farmers are not marketers. But what we can do is which is a big challenge. What we can do as farmers, as I discussed different with farmers, is just that sometimes understand which markets are available. I don't mean grow for those markets, but understand the markets. When I say understand the markets, if you're farming in Kamulu, make sure that your produce can go to Tala, farthest Machakos, or Ruai, or Thika Road. Not beyond there. Because beyond there, it means now extra costs. That day, we were supposed to have finished selling the watermelon by 7 in the morning. I was finishing selling the watermelon after some losses at 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Where? In the market? You stuck in the market?
No. Now we had to leave the market. We had to go to Pakla, to High Ridge. We went to Kagemi. We imagine on a truck the whole day.
Even as you do this, I believe the cost of production is still
increasing because now I'm increasing fuel.
There's lunch. There's all.
We had watermelon lunch. Mudomo ilikuwa pink. We had to go to Githurai. I went to Thika. Coming from Thika, in fact, that's the time I knew Thika really properly. The inside markets, you know. Left Thika, came to Njiru, Kasarani, and back to Roy, and we still hadn't finished all the watermelons.
So it took you an entire day.
An entire 12 hours.
So in terms of the, your profit margin, were you able to make up for it, in comparison to if you would have sold it to the broker at 55 shillings?
Yes, because we were selling at, the least I think we sold was 40 shillings, but most of it was selling at 45 shillings. Because now what we were doing is that we were now we now became a bit sharper. Actually, the owner of the truck, the driver of the truck, is one who told me, "Why don't we just go? We're already late, and the goods you're supposed to carry will be ready the next day." But I just fueled. So he called the owner, and the owner said, like, "Fine. And when you're coming down, please bring for me some watermelons." So what we did is that we went round, but now we are remaining with around, what, I think 6 tons? Not 6 tons, around 4 tons.
From 30?
From 30.
At least you sold the 26
Yeah, some
plus.
of them got spoiled because of now, sometimes we only
much
3
movement.
people, so we also needed to hire other young people to be on the track, so that every stop we stop, they shout, like the way beba, 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 beba. It was melon, kula melon, naosha mwili. Kula melon, naosha mwili. It was a very dramatic day, very interesting day though. But coming back to your question, I'm not saying farmers should grow for the market. No, but understand your market.
Understand your market.
Because when you understand your market, you'll know my market takes every day, it takes 300 kilos. Grow it for them, 300 kilos.
And you've mentioned something important right here. Probably you can come back to it. You've said that farmers are not marketers. So in place of this, does it mean you involve marketers, or besides understanding the market, what else should you do to make up for that gap?
Develop your negotiation skills. When you negotiate well, but most important, make sure you understand your cost of production. And then don't go to the market. You see, for me, I went to the market a bit earlier. But I went to this guy and found him and talked to him, and he accepted. I should have gone to Marikiti, I should have gone to another market and then compare the price. And then not say I will sell to this guy everything. No, I would have said, yes. And then I shouldn't have brought 30 tons to the market. I should have come with like 5 tons, then another 5 tons the next day, like that. You understand?
So you wanted to sell everything on the same day?
Pesa, cash money, my friend.
No, Pesa is ripe.
Pesa hivi.
1.2 is here looking at you.
Yes, Johnny, not Johnny, saa 3 asubuhi hapo. It's my market, I still take produce there. And yeah. And you see, these challenges are challenges that all farmers face. Even those ones who grow from a certain market. Sometimes you grow for a supermarket chain, and they tell you tomorrow we don't. They actually place their orders in the evening. So you see, you can't plan.
Yes.
And the challenge is not just the market; it's logistics, transport.
It comes as a package with everything.
And sometimes you have other things that you're doing, so you cannot go and sit in the market the whole day. In fact, I really respect farmers who actually have a pickup and they sit there in the stage. You've seen some in Kitengela, and they're selling the whole day. They sell
their produce the whole day.
That's patience. That's golden.
And we've talked about how we can prevent these,
Yes.
understanding your market, diversifying in terms of even your research, in terms of prices, sharpening your negotiation skills. But right now, there could be someone watching these. They are in the position you are with your 30 tons of watermelon, maybe a different produce, maybe the cabbages, as you mentioned, or maybe skuma wiki. It's turning yellow and they're looking at it right now.
Yes.
What are the options in their hands right now?
Widen your market. If you grow it for a certain market, try and understand another market that is nearby. Because this market, for example, if you want to sell produce if you're on Kangondo Road, don't go to Ruai only. If you're going to Ruai, go at 3 in the morning. Because traders from Njiru, from Kasarani, come to Ruai at that time to buy from the farmers who sell there, and then whatever is remaining is taken to Marikiti. You get? So go so there a bit.
Start with
yes.
Learn the markets.
Understand the different markets. Different. You see, me, I went with all watermelon, the big and medium and small, to the market. I should have gone with the big watermelons to City Park Market at certain premium price. Then the smaller watermelons is for the other markets. There's one very good market for watermelon and maize. Watermelon is the guys who actually slice the slices.
So those are the
yes, and then those ones don't buy per kilo. They pay a certain price. You get? So you understand your pricing model. And it sounds complicated when you say pricing model. Just understand the price at which people will buy that.
It's 20 shillings, 30, 40.
Yes, if it is watermelon at a certain size, you do your calculation and know this one is like 3 kilos. If you're selling at 40 shillings per kilo, it should be 120. You get the scenario? So 120, even if you sell it between 90 and 120, is fine. You get? Yes. And then this guy will be buying this size. So that size, nearly a kukata slices. So you look at the market and see, walk in the market, understand, look at the slice. actually buy that slice, bite it,
Taste.
and it will tell you these guys want watermelon that tastes like this size, so that even if they cut it, you see now when watermelon has like some zebra marks, huh? That full zebra is a slice. So count how many of those slices. Because if this guy buys at 10 bob, at 90 bob, he has to get 18 slices, so that he makes profit.
So you do the maths
Exactly.
right before you sell it.
Yes. So that this guy will, when he looks at the watermelon, he's counting those lines. How many slices will come out of this?
Okay. Now we have this guy watching right now.
Yes.
Probably they have your melons.
Yes.
They were today in the market. They
Yes.
went back home, and they're looking forward to probably doing something tomorrow.
Yes.
What can they do?
Don't go back home with produce. Kuna moja pilipili hoho, I'll tell you another day.
Character development.
So don't go back home with produce. Try as much as possible and recover your costs of production. Even if it was 25 shillings, try, because the moment you sleep with the watermelon, the watermelon that remained was around 4 tons. I took them to and rented a small house and put them inside. Remember, this watermelon was harvested yesterday.
It is right.
It has been in the sun the whole day.
You've been moving around.
What is watermelon sugar? Sugar is doing what which is concentrated in a certain area. It's fermenting. So I locked them somewhere. I put sawdust in under.
Heat.
We locked. The heat. It started sweating. So the guy where we left the watermelons called me at around 3 in the morning and asked me, did you guys lock someone in this room?
They were busting.
They were busting.
So the 4 tons were.
We lost around another 1 ton, but now the next day I had to sell very quickly so that we don't lose. We had just had that house for a day. Oh, yes.
Wow. So if never go back with production,
Don't.
at least recover your cost of production.
Yes, because you see, I could not have I didn't have the leisure of having the truck the next day. So don't go back home with produce. Try as much as possible, and if you understand your cost of production, then get your pricing model right. And you know that from Kamulu I would have sold some. Afterly, I would have even given another lady there who later on bought 500 kilos. On one day, I would have given her some like
on
2
your
tons.
way to the
Yes,
market.
2 tons, and told her to sell to people around there. I would have dropped some in Rwai, some in in Kasarani on the way to City Park Market. But you see, now I had to make a tour of Nairobi Metropolitan.
Even as we come to conclude this conversation that has been very interesting on when the market fails you, when everything you've planned
and it will fail you.
As a farmer, it's something that they should expect.
Standard procedure. You've harvested your onions, and the onions from Tanzania have hit the market.
And they're cheaper.
You have watermelon, and watermelon from Lamu or Kampala have hit the market.
Sweeter.
Lamu, they don't water. They take around 55 to 60 days ready. You stack yours for 90 days. Costs are high.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a cheaper, sweeter. So
yes, in some counties, in some places like in Lamu, Peketoni, there they don't sell puppies. They load a pickup load. If it's full, 10,000. That's what I'm saying. You don't understand.
And these are your competitors in the market.
These are your competitors. And they've not watered, they've not sprayed, because them, Lamu, Mpeketoni forest, natural bees, pollination super. Oh, piga dawa. In fact, we'll talk about what UNIDO is doing anyway.
Wow.
Yes.
Even as we talk of spraying
Yes.
and everything, there's a campaign by UNIDO in collaboration with Markup Kenya who are pushing for the safe use of pesticides, and we are talking about all these chemicals that you find you're using on your farm currently. We are pushing for the safe use of these chemicals because tunasema dawa bora mazao bora.
And I think that campaign is very important, especially for farmers, because it's not just about. And if you look at it, even the campaign properly, I was getting deeper with the campaign, you realize that it's more than just the pesticides, the harmfulness. It goes in even with the education part of it. It goes in even with the cost of production. Because if you spray every week, some guys in Peketoni are not spraying every week. So your costs are going high.
Your costs are.
It helps now when it comes to education. You can be able to scout and see my farm. My farm is okay. I don't need to spray this week. It reduces your cost. You start understanding, yes.
And again, they're pushing a campaign, hashtag Soma label on these things.
Exactly.
So I believe it's easier to identify the best product for
Yes,
your
and even
farm.
the most affordable, because you see, the biggest challenge is that if you ask a farmer what they sprayed for last week, most of them don't know. And so if they don't know what it is, and why they don't know is because they have not they don't know why they're spraying it. Probably somebody at the farmer said, "Let our flood.
We need to spray this."
Yes, and some of the agronomists now are not even coming to you as a farmer. They're going to the farm workers and tell Ambia Mdosi to buy this down. Yes, they're given a cap, a t-shirt.
So you end up purchasing things that are not exactly useful for your farm.
They might be useful, but you see, it's geared towards
Not the
finance.
most suitable.
Exactly. So I think the campaign is really good. As we get in deeper, I think we'll discuss more about it.
All right, and time is much spent. Maybe
Yes.
your final words. You've told us your story of
Yes.
how your character has been well developed in your
Kabisa.
career in farming so far. There are people who are starting this career right there who've listened and probably they're wondering, should I still go ahead and plant?
Even have white hair now. Yes, so farming.
So your final words for these people
For today, final for today. Yeah?
for today.
Okay.
This conversation continues. It cannot stop at this. Nimesikia kuna hoa mahali.
Hata mhogo. Yes, even napier grass. Anyway, yes, so if you're starting farming, don't quit. Farming can pay. Farming, you'll not get millions and millions as you're told about farming, but make sure you do it right. The only way you can be able to earn money from farming and put money in your pocket is only if you transform your farm into a business, understand what it requires, test your soil, and make sure you improve even your irrigation methods. But overall, try as much as possible and reduce your cost of production for you to be competitive.
That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us right here on Farm Drive, and thank you so much for all who send in your feedback. Sorry we were not able to sample all of them today, but we will be getting to that. And this conversation continues every Monday to Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. right here on Farm Drive in a Farmers Media. Remember also, we have our social media platforms where you can find these and many other conversations, be it on Facebook at a Farmers Media, or Instagram a Farmers Media with a Z, or Twitter a Farmers_Media, where you'll find all these conversations. Are there previous links to these stories? You've had plenty of what Mr. Noah here had to share. We are going to have more of those and more other interesting conversations, even on our variety of shows. So be sure to tune in, subscribe, like, comment. If you have a question, a concern, reach out and we will be responding accordingly. My name is David Kagina and this is Farm Drive. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy your evening.